What is net neutrality, and what does that mean to you and I? Is it something that we should really care about? Well, earlier this year, my next guest wrote an article on why we should be concerned about net neutrality. Not only this year, but over several years. She and her colleagues have written about this and the dangers that it posed if it went away. No matter what part of the aisle that you're on politically, even if you are a non-political person, this is going to affect you, affect your businesses, and a lot of other things. And I'm so happy that she decided to come on our show and help us navigate and see what net neutrality is and what possibly we can do about it. My awesome friend joins us right now, digital editor over with Black Enterprise Magazine. What's going on, Samara Lynn? How are you?
Hey, Paul. Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, I'm doing more fantastic right now because we're coordinating right now. Everybody, we got the memo together this time. We are definitely coordinating. So how you been?
We have great taste. I've been really well. Really been busy. We just did a website update, so that's been keeping us busy here. Looks really beautiful, so we're happy with that. But other than that, really very well.
Yeah, that website, I'm really digging right now. I kind of showed a little bit of it when I talked about the article that you wrote about our subject of net neutrality. And the thing about it is, Samara, way back in February, you kind of saw the way the winds were going with the Ajit Pai. Sorry about that, I got to name his name correctly. The FCC chairman. You kind of saw something on the horizon and you jumped on it. What kind of made you really see the winds going that way when it comes to net neutrality?
Well, this is an issue I've really been covering for, I would say, since 2012. Because, you know, there was so much talk about net neutrality a few years ago. And then, of course, the Obama administration, they came in, they put in pro-net neutrality appointees at the FCC, and they made this thing happen. You know, they instituted, they really rolled out net neutrality with the Obama administration. So, of course, you go to 2016, you have the Trump presidency with his mandate to roll back anything President Obama did. And, of course, part of his campaigning was on net neutrality and this crazy notion that somehow net neutrality cripples corporations. So that's what prompted me to write that article back in February, really the politics.
And you know what, I kind of mentioned this in the beginning of the show about how you can explain to the layman out there about what net neutrality is all about, because a lot of people are hearing about it. They really don't know what it is, but that's why I wanted to have you as one of the experts out there in the digital world to just explain in a nutshell, what is net neutrality and why should we all be concerned about losing that?
Net neutrality is the idea of an open internet, period. And what that means is internet service providers can't charge you more for faster bandwidth. They can't charge you more for accessing Google Maps. You know, they can't throttle based on, you know, whims. A politically biased millionaire can buy a small ISP and, you know, give the fastest bandwidth to news shows that mirror or echo his political beliefs. It really keeps the internet a neutral zone. And it's really important. It's important for people's paycheck, for people's life, you know, bill paying, keeping service, you know, costs at least regulated. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the internet service providers, they already have so much control that net neutrality is just a way of reining them in a bit. And also, what I wrote about a few years ago, it prevents what I termed internet ghettos, where people who can't afford faster, better bandwidth and better service are just stuck with this really choppy, bad bandwidth. And we know there's a lot of correlation between having good internet access for children as far as education goes and their school performance. And so that's why this concerns all of us.
You know, and I'm glad you put that out there about internet ghettos, because let's face it, a segment of the president's electorate are in the ghetto. Not the ghetto that maybe I grew up in, but another ghetto where people with a different skin tone are there. I don't think they're realizing just the impact that this is going to have on them, even though they supported this president through thick and thin. But now I think if this goes through and they are being charged more to watch certain things, if they are getting throttled down, do you think that there's going to be an outcry about this, or are they just going to say, "Oh well, he's the great one"?
I do. I think it's going to be healthcare. Look, a lot of his supporters in rural areas who are, stormed in their senators and their representatives' offices saying, you better not touch my healthcare. I do. I think that if they really are serious about, rolling back people, especially as you mentioned in rural communities where they already have, very limited choices as far as internet access, I think they will see. And unfortunately, sometimes it takes people to, drink the poison before they realize it's bad for them. And
does this really mean too that companies or, let's say, political supporters of a certain party can start censoring things when it comes to net neutrality, not having it stream as fast as it should be when you're watching content on your phone or your devices? Can they use this for some nefarious acts as well too?
Sure. I mean, I think that's quite feasible. And then the thing is, without net neutrality, if it's something you can prove, there's not even anything you can challenge in court. You can say, listen, you're going against, net neutrality regulations. You can make a complaint to the FCC. But now, if someone did do that, the FCC is going to just, with this new chairman, Pai, they're just going to turn their back on it. They're going to be like, oh, well, it's a free market.
What's interesting about Pai, too, when I looking at his background, he doesn't even have a tech background. He's an attorney. So and
who was he an attorney for?
Yeah, that's true.
The ISPs.
Yeah.
The Verizons, the AT&Ts. That's the sector he was a lawyer for. So and his appointment was not coincidental at all.
And
very deliberate.
And you would think that would be a conflict of interest, just in case, or you would think him being the chairman would be like, let me make sure that I'm far away from looking like that I'm, having these lobbyists tell me what to do, my old clients, when it comes to making decisions. You would think that a person would do that. But you know what? I don't want to give any look that I'm doing that, but not him.
No, definitely not. I mean, Paul, conflict of interest. You got the Exxon CEO as a Secretary of State. I think that's a good thing for this administration.
Yeah, well said.
They want a conflict of interest.
Well said. Now, let's talk about devices and everything now. We have mobile data on our devices. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Will net neutrality affect that as well, too, or is that kind of off limits?
Yeah, I think it can, because, it really affects any way you access the internet, be it broadband or cellular. Yeah, I think it all falls under the realm. All connectivity options can be impacted by the rollback of net neutrality.
So we're looking at this vote that's going to take place, and by all intents and purposes, it looks like it's going to pass, and we're going to have some dilemmas on our hand.
Will.
What can stop it right now from passing it? Is there something that can be done, like ones who mobilize, like when it came to healthcare, and now when it comes to this tax bill too, when you have these coal miners realizing that this tax bill is going to put some of them out of business, that the president said is going to go back to work. So do you think that there's going to be a last ditch effort by the resistance to really say, okay, this has nothing to do with party lines. This has something to do with being fair when it comes to net. Now, I was looking at an article the other day too, Samara, and I don't mean to jump around, but it talked about in some countries where they don't have net neutrality, and how it charges more to go to this website, go to that website.
Right.
Do you think that the American people are going to look at that and say, no, we don't want that?
In the tech media, we've been writing about this issue for years. And I think polls show that most Americans are for net neutrality. We just have this, this contingency that think it's somehow impeding the free market or impeding these poor billionaire rich corporations like these ISPs from making even more billions. I mean, I don't know how much more you can explain to people how imperative this is. And I mean, as far as an last-ditch effort to stop it, I mean, there was a couple of months ago, people were flooding the FCC's email. And I think there was this idea from Chairman Pai that this was like some sort of group, that disgruntled group, and some sort of like fake news thing. Like, I mean, he didn't even take it seriously, but I would say people should just really just, leave messages at the, FCC website and really call their representatives. Just say, this is unacceptable.
When it comes to net neutrality too, we talked about the mobile devices, we talked about streaming in our homes and things like that. It's, to me, it's like the way they can cook the books when it comes to ratings too. New shows, you kind of talked about new shows when ones want to have shows that are streaming. It's kind of like doing what they did with Arbitron and Nielsen, where they mailed out these diaries allegedly to people whom they knew would write a certain way in their books and things like. Because I tell you, I've been in the industry for many years. Even before I was in the industry, I've never got an Arbitron book or a Nielsen book in my house, in my hood, where I grew up at. None of us ever had it. So it seems like another way that they can kind of control the narrative when it comes to the ratings, when it comes to content. It just seems kind of weird.
They really are. And I think that, that's a good point, Paul. And I think that's why the Silicon Valley CEOs are so pro net neutrality. They do realize that you can give up content control, and you can, have these companies and corporations, control even more than they do already now with all the mergers and acquisitions, control what people consume and what people read and watch and view. And it's definitely, you're absolutely right about that.
Now, is there anybody we talked about ones who are in favor of getting rid of net neutrality, and their argument is, again, the bottom line, but they'll never tell us that. But what is kind of the argument that they are coming up with when it comes to people questioning them about, they're in favor of this decision?
Oh, there's just all the usual. You're stymieing competition, and we can't keep service charge rates down. Just the usual song and dance. It's you're handcuffing us. This is against anti-capitalism. It's just the usual. Just really, and it's just such a vapid argument.
And if they really want to do something, why don't they talk about getting some faster speeds in the U.S.? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Or the monopolies that they have in so many areas.
Yeah, absolutely. So. It's really, 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 really strange, my friend. But I'm glad we have you and your colleagues over there over at Black Enterprise Magazine doing some great things. And back in February and even before, you warned us about this, and You are definitely a Jedi. That's all I have to say. You definitely foresaw this. And one of the cool things I want to talk about too is the brand new website that you guys launched. Talk about that and some of the features of that.
We needed an overhaul. It was time for a little getting a little work done. So it's just very responsive. It's very mobile friendly, and a lot of very images, a lot of video. We have a video wall now. We're really excited. So come on over to blackenterprise.com and check it out.
And the cool thing about it is they can check you out, and they can see all the things that you have written, that it's on the screen right now. And that is so cool that it's easy for us to look at and just check out all these different features of it. And we wish you all the much success over there at Black Enterprise Magazine. I know coming up in a few weeks, you and I will be immersed in tech at the CES 2018. What are you most looking forward to?
Really, I think the artificial intelligence and the robotics.
Mm-hmm.
I am just really psyched about that, and all the smart home stuff. I think it's just going to be crazy this year.
Yeah.
What about you? What are you looking forward to?
I am looking forward to the accessible technology. See some of the things that are out there in the world helping out medical devices.
Pretty amazing things.
Yeah. It's gonna be super cool. So if you want to make sure you keep up to date on what's going on at CES, make sure you follow my great friend Samarlin, and give him that Twitter address again. You got to follow her on Twitter. Her tweets are amazing. And I'm telling you, she just got released the other day. I'm glad she's back out. But I'm
Twitter in jail.
Yeah. So how can they follow you?
Well, sometimes I just can't help myself. I try not to go too. It's just Samara Lynn, my first name and last name. So.
Awesome. Always great talking to you, my friend, and looking forward to catching up with you in Las Vegas.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Again, a huge shout out to my great friend, Samara Lynn, digital editor of Black Enterprise. Love talking to Samara. She and I, we coordinated today, didn't we? We coordinated. And a cool thing, too. We're going to release a new intro, a show intro for CES 2018. And something tells me my two guests that I've had on this show, including myself, we're going to make a cameo. But, hey, make sure you check out Samara Lynn and all of her great writings. Follow her on Twitter. She doesn't mess around, but I'm glad she talked to us too about net neutrality to help us to understand what it is, how it may affect us, and what it may mean to the way that we check out things on the internet. Well, hey, it's time for me to make like a tree and get out of here in the words of Biff Tannen and Back to the Future. But stay tuned. Next show, I'll be sharing some of my footage from the PSX experience, PlayStation experience 2017 that I just got back from. So I'll be talking to some great developers out there and other people in the gaming world. So you don't want to miss that. Until next time, take care, folks. Talk to you soon.